Hello guys, already in our previous video, we are going to continue our discussion with respect to data parsing techniques. Already in our previous video, we have finished the task of data parsing PDF. We also have seen what all common functionalities we can actually use in order to handle text data from PDF, right? So all these specific important things we have discussed. We also have shown you how we can go ahead and create a class and how we will be implementing each and every functionalities as we go ahead. In a uh, at the end of the day, we are still focusing on the main important thing, that is that how to read it from a data source. How to read data from data source, do the splitting, convert it into chunks, and when we are creating these chunks, how to add metadata information. And with respect to that metadata information, what will be the advantages? We'll probably go ahead and see that in the future. Now, in this specific video, now inside that my data ingestion, I'll be creating one more file, which is called as data parsing doc, right? So in this video, what we are going to understand is that how we can specifically work with Word documents. With respect to Word documents, there may be scenario that in your problem statement, like you may have data in the Word doc, right? So when I say Word doc, this is one example. So let's say that this is my project proposal RAG implementation. I'll just show you that just a minute. This is my, uh, you know, uh, this is my, this thing, a documentation. Okay, a documentation doc word file, proposal doc, right? So this I have just created a simple job responsibilities and summaries, right, for this RAG implementation and etc. This is a project that I'm trying to provide to the client, and this the client is providing me. And based on this, these are the information these are actually written. Now, what I really want to do is that I want to read this particular Word doc and read this content, add metadata information, do the chunking, each and everything, right? So let's go ahead and do this step by step. Now, the first thing is that in the data parsing, as I said, we are going to specifically do this for Word document processing, right? Word document processing. Now, with respect to the Word document processing, there are two important libraries we are going to specifically use. The first library, I'll just go ahead and open my command prompt. First library that I'm going to actually install is nothing but uv add python, or let me do one thing. Let me just open the requirement.txt file and let me go ahead and update it. So the first one that I'm going to specifically use is nothing but Python-Docx. Okay. And then I'm going to also going to use docs to text. We'll talk about this, why these libraries are important. But in short, you'll be able to read the Word doc itself, and you'll also be able to play with various elements out there. Now, I'll go ahead and do the installation of all the specific libraries. So it is nothing but uv add r requirements.txt. And it has already installed, and it has also updated in pyproject.2ml. The exact version what we are specifically using is mentioned over here. Okay, so you can probably go ahead and check it out. Now this is what our installation is done. Now I'll go ahead and back to the document and start writing down the code. I have already kept that Word doc file inside this data folder, inside this Word file. So there is something called as proposal.docs. So if I open it, I'll not be able to open it, but I already have an extension. But I already have shown you what this Word document looks like, right? So we are going to read this. Now the first thing is that I'll go ahead and import some libraries. I'll write down from docx import two things that are going to import. One is document, and I'll also name it as docx.document. Okay. Understand, this document is not the same document that we were using earlier. This is specifically for documents so that we can specifically go ahead and read this, right? So I'm going to name this. I'm going to go ahead and import OS, and I'll go ahead and execute this. Okay. Now the next thing is that I'll go ahead and initialize my, let's say, what we are basically going to do that is, so right now, I'll tell you the importance of those libraries in the later stages. Now, from LangChain, I'm just going to go ahead and use the community, LangChain underscore community dot document loaders. Since I really want to go ahead and read my Word doc, so for that, I'll be using two important libraries. One is docx to text loader. So this is one of the libraries. And another library is one more library which you can specifically use is unstructured Word document. Something will be there. Unstructured Word document loader. Okay. So these two libraries you can specifically go ahead and use in order to load any Word doc. Okay. So I'll go ahead with the method one. So method one is nothing but here what we are actually going to do that we are going to use the doc x txt loader. Okay. And then I'll be writing down print. Let's say I'll go ahead and write for this, I will use some kind of printing techniques so that you'll be able to see this. So I'm using this doc to txt loader. Okay. And I'm trying to load this. So I'll use try catch block. Try catch, I'll say docx underscore loader. This will be my variable. I'll be using the same function and I'll give my path. The path will be nothing but data slash word underscore files slash my document is nothing but proposal dot docx, right? So this is the format that usually happens with respect to, this is the extension for Word document. Okay. Then I'm going to go ahead and provide this load this doc. So for this, I'll be using docs loader dot load. Okay. So once I get this, that basically means we are going to create all the documents. Now, what I can do is after loading this, I can print some basic information. So see, I'm printing length of document, how many documents that I'm going to get. The first document contains page, I'm trying to see, and I'm also trying to see the metadata. So these are all the things that we already done many number of times. And then I'll go ahead and write down exception, except block, exception as E. Okay. And then we are going to print the error. If there is an error, if there is an exception, I'm using this F string, and this will be nothing but iterate. Right. Now, this is what we are basically doing over here. Right. So let me just go ahead and execute it and see like what all things will be printed. So perfect. This has loaded the document. I'm able to see the content preview, page content, executing summary. This looks good. These are the objectives, metadata information we can see. So this is my 100 characters that I really wanted to see, and it has loaded one document. So if we are able to print how many documents we are trying to load, so that is the reason we are able to see all this specific information, which is really, really good. Okay. The other way, the method two, right? So here was my method one by using docs, uh, docs, docx to txt loader. Now we are going to use this unstructured Word document. So this is basically my method two. So this is one way of reading it by using that. Anybody can go ahead and use this. The second one, we are basically going to go ahead and use this one. That is my method two using unstructured Word document loader. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and create a try catch block. The try catch block is simple, just to handle exception handling. As you know, it is good to probably go ahead and build anything with the help of try catch block so that you can also go ahead and see it. So now I'll just go ahead and print this. Good enough. So I have this try catch except block. Now inside my try block, I'll just go ahead and use this unstructured document loader. So here what I'm going to do, I'll go ahead and unstructured document loader. Inside this, the first is the data path of my file. So my data path of the file is nothing but the specific path. So I'll go ahead and paste it over here. And the second is nothing but there's a parameter which is called as mode. And with respect to mode, here we need to give elements. Okay. Now, when I was seeing this document, I tried to understand what this mode element was. So this mode element was just to preserve the structure of the document. Okay. That basically means, let's say there is a structure of a specific document. When we are reading this, it gives a reference that here we are going to follow this specific template in order to become the content out there. Okay. And this I will try to go ahead and create one more loader because initially we are loading the document, right? And for this, I'll also go ahead and install one library. And that library is nothing but, uh, let me just go ahead and upload it over here in the requirement. So we'll go ahead and install this library, unstructured docs. Okay. So this is the library that we are going to use. Okay. So let's go ahead and write over. So once you have added that, you need to run uv add requirement.txt. So it is already there. You do not have to install this. Then now what you're basically going to do that is we have this in the next step. We will go ahead and read the element inside this. Okay. So what I'll do is I'll go ahead and write an unstructured underscore docs is equals to. So we are going to use this unstructured loader dot load, right? So by using load function, we'll be able to load it. Now, page by page, we'll try to display this unstructured load content that we are loading. So here you'll be able to see, okay, let me make this as stock. So here what we are doing is we are first of all loading how many numbers of elements are there for I comma doc in this. We are seeing the first three elements that are coming up. And then I'm displaying the metadata. Metadata will be present inside this particular category. And then we are displaying the page content. So if I just go ahead and execute it, you'll see using unstructured document, Word document loader. And again, this is going to take some time. But with respect to, loading all this specific stuff, we can actually use this. So now let's see how much time it is going to take. So here I'm going to get my unstructured document. It is taking time. And then probably we should be able to display all the information out there. So it took some amount of time. So here you can see loaded 20 elements. Now, based on the format, right? When we use this parameter, which is called as elements, it is broken each and every content into elements. One is title, element two is executive summary, element three, narrative text. So automatically based on the format, it is divided into different structure. And this took somewhere around 35 seconds in order to execute this. Now, once you have this content, what you can do is you can further convert that into chunks, add metadata information, and probably go ahead and display it. So this was about both Word document processing, and I hope really got a clear idea about this. How do we go ahead and read this? For this example, we have used these two important libraries. One is docx2 txt loader and structured document loader, right? Unstructured Word document loader. And even though if you just go ahead and see this, right? I'll just go ahead and display this unstructured docs. Okay, unstructured docs. And if you execute it, so see, automatically you'll be able to see the metadata information, each and everything, right? And here in the metadata, you have the source category, file directory, file name. Let's just see the first one. So here you can see the first file, first document. So at the end of the day, what you specifically read by using this library, it is going to give you document structure. So the metadata is source, file name, right? Then you can see file name, last modified languages. These are all some additional information. And then you have this particular page content, right? Proposal, RAG implementation. Automatically based on the elements, you are going to load it there. The reason why I'm not doing chunking, because see, based on the elements, when we are, writing down mode is equals to element, when we are writing down mode is equals to element, automatically you are able to get based on different chunks. So let's say over here you got executive summary, then here in the page two you got some other thing, right? So these are all information is page to you specifically got. But on top of it, if you really want to go ahead and do this, you can go ahead and apply more chunks. So page content is objective, right? I hope really you like this video. This was about data processing by using Word doc. Okay. Two specific library we have used. On top of this, if you really want to go ahead and do any kind of processing, you can go ahead and do it. And here you can see that I have actually automatically by using this, we have got so many different documents. And these are all smaller chunks. If you see this content, right? File type, application, processing, page content. Here you can clearly see page from this element. You're able to see the different text. And the best part about this is that, say, if you some kind of tables, if you have some kind of table, because in our document we also have table, this is also has been extracted, right? So I hope you like this video. This was it about Word docs. In the next video, we are going to discuss about CSV and Excel file, how you can go ahead and work with. So yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Thank you and take care and happy learning. Bye.